I think as a kid, I wanted to be a professional at something. Dad took my brother and I to a lot of different sport, particularly footy. And I was never going to be a footy player. Look at the size of me. Dad took me to a couple of carnivals, and I thought that's a pretty cool gig, like what they're doing. I was a late bloomer in our sport, so when I felt that Ironman racing was for me, I was probably 17 or 18. So we had a race at our home beach and won in like pretty good company. It's so good when you win. That feeling you want to like bottle up. You feel so proud of yourself, you feel 10 foot tall. Any issue in your life seems to just go away. For me now, every win I have is pretty bloody special.
There's nobody in the sport that works harder. There's nobody in the sport who's more professional. And you add those two things with just a little bit of talent, and you've got the absolute animal that is Ali Day. In the last 2 to 3 years, the things he's won and the way he's done it have made people stop and think maybe he is the greatest of all time. You talk about your Trevor Hendys, your Grant Kennys, your Shannon Ecksteins. If he's not past them, I think he'll go past them in the next 12 months.
Ironman racing takes you on an incredible journey through friends, sponsors, injuries, the ups and the downs. You've got to learn to lose, you learn to win, you learn to deal with pressure. The thing I love about it is the team or the people that I have that message me, talk to me, are there for me like win, lose, draw. And then the feeling you have of signing a young kid's hat or a photo after a race, that never lost on me, that feeling. And you can tell like they're looking at you that you're this like superhero, right? Which I'm not. And the impact that you can have on someone like that is pretty unique. So Ironman's it's the best job in the world. Well, one of.
Sorry, can I just rant? She's an unbelievable swim leg. She was the Australian board champion. She could probably win the ski race at the Aussie titles if she really wanted to have a crack at it. You put those pieces together with a never say die attitude. She's as tough as nails. She's fun to be around. She looks the part. You take all those pieces together and that's Georgia Miller.
Growing up, I was a natural-born swimmer. I think there's footage of me from the age of 2 just swimming around in a pool, just absolutely loving it. I had the biggest smile on my face. Always kind of question my parents and think, was that safe? Like, should I have been doing that young? But I think that started because I have 2 older sisters and I was always sort of tagging along to whatever they were doing. Once I started in the under-6s at Freshwater Surf Life Saving Club on the northern beaches of Sydney, I just fell in love with it. I've been very lucky that I've had great success since a very young age, and thankfully I was able to transition it over from great youth results and results beyond that.
Courtney Hancock for a long time was the queen of surf sports, and Georgia Miller's been the heir apparent for a long, long time. And just like Ali Day, in the last 12 to 18 months has been making the argument that she is the greatest of all time. And if she keeps winning, there will be no argument. And she doesn't look like losing anytime soon. That's the scary part. She's not getting to 30 and starting to slow down. She's getting to 30 and just winning by more.
I I think my success comes from a combination of things. Definitely comes down to a lot of hard work, my attitude towards racing and training, and just being able to enjoy it as well and have fun with it.
8-8, girls. Good job, G.
I believe that the more training you do, the luckier you are going to get within races. And sometimes it's not the case, but you do what you can, and that's how I think of things.
Just got married. I'd won an Ironman series the year before. I'd won the Coolangatta Gold. I think I'd won a world title as well. Things were flying in my life, and it, I guess, just came crashing down pretty quickly. Yeah, that sucked those days, like getting an Uber out to the hand therapist, and she'd be doing one hand and then my other hand would be in a cast, and they'd put the other one back in a cast and do the other hand. And, you know, one was hard, but two's pretty crazy. I think the hardest thing was my mental health at that stage. Yeah, slipped a fair way down like the ladder in terms of, you know, not having anything to look forward to when I woke up. I struggled with my loss of identity because I felt as though that I was only loved and looked at because I was a really good Ironman. And I thought that people wouldn't love me anymore. I had a great sports psychologist, and the first couple of conversations was like, look, I don't even care if I come back and race again at the moment. Like, can you just help me feel like how I was feeling before I got injured? I thought I was at rock bottom. Then we sort of like really hit rock bottom once we started speaking, which gave me, you know, the opportunity then to look at it in a different way. I was lucky that I had, you know, amazing support. Wife, family, coaches like Zane, like he'd come around all the time, bring me lamb shanks around. Earl from Shore and Partners, he called me just as I broke my wrist, and I was like, I'm not going to be racing. He's like, if we're going to win together, we're going to lose together. So I had people like that that just checked in on me constantly, and that helped heaps.
Probably should hold it for longer down the bottom, hey?
To describe Ali Day, you need to understand what he's been through. He's had to work for everything that he has earned over the last 10, 15 years. He's been through trials and tribulations. He's had injuries. He's missed seasons. So to understand Ali is to understand hard work and professionalism. And they're the two things that describe him to a T.
Obviously, after I broke my wrist and had that period of time off, I'm proud of coming back, and it's not about winning races. I was just proud of like putting my foot back on the start line and doing the job that I love to do and giving myself an opportunity to do it again.
Broken back, yes. Oh, yeah. The first thing was definitely, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to walk again? Like, what's happened? It was pure panic as well. It resulted in, the girls at training having to come and rescue me, and actually broke 3 vertebrae in my spine and lacerated my spleen, and was given bed rest for about 8 weeks of doing absolutely nothing. That was a hard pill to swallow, but in the whole scheme of things, just so lucky.
I think getting an injury for an athlete is more than just their inability to go and race and train and do the thing they love. It's more about taking away part of who they are. It's Ali Day, the Ironman, or Georgia Miller, the Iron Woman, is now gone. It takes someone special to have an adversity and comes back, but it takes someone truly amazing to have adversity, come back better, and then go back to dominating the way they did before.
In the off-season, I had done nothing. Was pretty much laying in bed trying to recover my back. Yeah, just starting from zero is really, really tough. But I mean, each day you're just ticking off the boxes, you're getting better and better. You're never going backwards if you keep looking forwards that way.
Oh, here comes the tide. Yeah, we're just down here doing a bit of race practice leading into the first big event of the year, the 10,000 at Alec. It's been a battle and she's been so tough, she's so resilient, and that's why she's so good. That's why she's one of the best of all time, is because she can get in there, get her work done and get it happening really quick for herself. Let's go, G. Come on, little work on. You've got to get that first 40 in the green, first 40.
Training is so important to me. It's the base work of racing, and it's where we get to put in practice what we are going to do in a race, and you want to be able to prepare yourself the best you can. Coming into Alex, I was pretty nervous. I hadn't raced a short course iron in a really long time, and I think it was just that foreign movement that I was worried about and those race day nerves that I hadn't had in a really long time.
Up, legs up!
So I need to focus on myself and make sure I'm doing the right things that I need to do to then be ready to go when race time comes.
New season, new opportunities. The Hayden Kenny Classic's the first big race of the year.
Oh, good luck tomorrow, guys.
You can really feel that when you hit the beach. Everyone can go, wow. Okay, there's two brand new spanking cars sitting there. There's $10,000 up for grabs in the Ironman and Ironwoman race. So, yeah, I was excited when I got on the beach.
Hey, well, don't say anything bad to me, mate. I'm mic'd off as well. I shouldn't say that.
It was actually quite ironic. I looked at the date the morning of the heats, and it had been exactly 10 months since I fractured the 3 vertebrae in my spine and lacerated my spleen.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
How are you?
Good. 10 months is really not a huge amount of time to get ready since the injury. So it's either going to be a really great weekend or it could be a bit of a disappointing weekend. How was it out there this morning?
It's tough, eh?
Yeah.
That chop is so hard to get in the first can. Thanks for that, mate. Cheers.
If there is anybody who understands what you're going through, it's going to be Riley, a 2-time Olympian going towards his 3rd Olympic Games, to tell you that it's all going to be all right and to support you when it's not going well. He understands the technical element of it just as much as the emotional element of it as well. And you add those 3 things together and it's a scary combination.
Well, if you can get a good board start and then use your strength in the swim and then lean on your endurance that you've been training on for the ski, then I think you should be fine out there.
At Alex, I don't feel the pressure from anyone else. I just feel it for myself. I want to race well for me and my family. I want to know that I'm still good. The goal was to be consistent, whether that's a top 5, a top 3. Obviously, you want to win. Everyone wants to win. I wanted to win because you get $10,000 and you also get, more importantly, you get 10,000 points. And it takes that little bit of pressure off as the season goes on because you've banked a win already. But I wanted to be consistent. And the second thing was I wanted to put together a good Ironman race. The first heat at Alex, 8 people went through. So I just used that race as an opportunity, almost like a bit of a warm-up to get rid of the week of training and blow the cobwebs out a little bit and remove the fuzz.
The Friday trials are really tough. It is such short racing, really fast. Everyone just wants to get through to that final because once you're in the final, absolutely anything can happen. I was definitely nervous. I remember putting my foot on the line thinking, oh my gosh, this is my first race back. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be really fast. But you just wanna make it through your heat to then be able to be in that final and have a chance at winning. At that moment, I was thinking, look, I'd had a great start, but it's now time to really work into the race, put the hammer down, go into my favourite leg, the swim, and try and make a gap. Only one competitor was going straight through to the final next day, and I wanted that spot. yeah, I pulled away even further and then was lucky enough to jag a wave as well the whole way in. Day one done and won. So that was a great start. You can't get much better than that. This could be a good day tomorrow, but you just never know how it's going to go. Is that a good one? Cut. Cut for day one.
Yeah, when we go into those cutthroat rounds where you have to qualify in the first few places to go through to the final at the Summer of Surf, there's always the variables that come with the surf. But when you're dealing with an athlete the calibre of Ali, I always back him. I always know he's going to perform. Regardless of the result, he will do his best every single time. But for the most part, it really is confidence off the back of such a great track record.
It's like a drug, you know, when you're in front. It's such a good feeling, particularly in a heat like that, particularly in a moment like that, because I'd rather get through right now than have to potentially have the opportunity to race again and not be in this position. Don't cock it up. You're in a good position right now and it feels really good. So you don't seem to feel the bumps and the bruises along the road. Every run you chase seems to open up for you, so it's a good feeling.
It's such a short race. It's cutthroat. I feel like I didn't race that well in the first one. I still didn't feel like I raced that well then, but you know, mentally I was trying to really get myself up for that, and it worked. We'll go pretty quick this next, like, I don't have my watch on, next half an hour, hey.
When you come into finals day, the focus does shift a little bit. You know that it's that one race where you've got to turn up and perform. So you've got to be calm and confident, but also switched on and ready at the right time.
I've got little things that help get my body and my mind ready.
You would actually hate this.
I do hate it.
I didn't want her either.
A lot of it was either spent talking to Zane, my coach, or it's sitting with Kel and Danny in the tent. You've got one race, you've got an opportunity to get good points. That was the goal, and they were the things that I wanted to do coming into that final. You can feel the level of pressure and anxiety and nervousness, and it's so quiet too. Right before the gun goes, like, you hear nothing. I'm just saying a few words to myself like, okay, remember why you do it. Slowing my breathing down, rubbing my foot in the sand, checking my line, and then just getting ready to go. Focus on the board races, get in a good position, get to the can in a good position. You've got 20 guys going at a can that's 50 metres off the beach.
Just a swarm of boards. There he is, Ali Day on the inside on this board turning can.
Go, Ali, let's go, mate. You're going well.
Everyone's at their physical best in that first board leg.
Matt Bevilacqua, Ali Day, Odin Parrish and Ethan Callahan touchdown with JC just off screen right now.
There's always a strategy to position yourself in the best position to, again, just put yourself then into the next better position.
Ali and Bevy locking arms as they just get around that can there. Ali's making his way through the field now a little later than I probably would have thought.
There is nobody I've seen in the last 5 or 10 years that has done it like Ali's done it. He's in the right place at the right time, but you can't be perfect every single round.
Dane said the first person in the wave area is going to get the first opportunity.
Ethan Callahan, he might even pick this little one up.
I knew that that was the opportunity missed.
And there's the looming presence of Alistair Day.
When Ethan hit the sand, I thought there's no way they'll even get close, but as Ethan turned the can on the way home, Ali, he was still in that race despite being 25, 30 metres behind him. So that's how special a talent Ali is.
I'm in shock. I can't believe what we've just witnessed.
He did everything right that day, but some days you just can't beat Mother Nature, and it might be the biggest upset we've seen in a very, very long time. And to be completely honest, it might be the biggest upset we've seen in the sport.
Open Ironman champion, Ethan Callahan.
The next generation has, like, 100% arrived. You saw it with the heats yesterday. And, yeah, like, stoked for him. Would have been good to win, obviously, but second's still awesome. Take second any day of the week.
Yeah, now it's go time. It's Saturday. It's the final. It is the top 20 Ironwoman within Australia, which is just huge to be a part of. But I wanted more than that. I wanted to win, and I just was feeling really, really good on the day.
I think the Ironwoman field has gotten better and better year on year for the last 10 years. You continually see these girls making leaps and bounds, and I think what Georgia's done is she takes it to another level, and then the rest of the field is forced to jump to that level. And every now and again, you get a Lana Rogers, a Lizzie Wellborn who win a race or win a series, and then you see Georgia jump again. And Georgia finds a way to come back bigger and better the next summer, and the pressure's back on them.
She's so good. She's the best. Bloody to go.
I was trying to watch the start. I was like, how far did they run up?
Oh, there's so many things Bloody tells me before a race. I think the one thing that sticks out into my mind was that she was like, you've just got to get on and go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big one. This is what you've all been waiting for. And it's board, swim, ski.
I just wanted to go out there and just race.
Lizzie Wellborn's out in front. She's got a handy little lead.
It's going to be Georgia Miller that pulls up alongside Lizzie Wellborn. It's a race in two to start this one.
The board's probably not my strongest leg, and I've come in with the best board paddler, and we'd actually gapped the field as well. So it was going to be one of those races that was going to be really, really tight.
Exactly the same as Georgia tucked in behind Lizzie Wellborn for the board leg. You can bet your house on it that Lizzie Wellborn's going to be doing the exact same thing to Georgia Miller. Lizzie Wellborn is doing everything she can to not let her get away.
She had a fantastic swim leg and really hung in there, and she actually got a little wave.
Lizzie Wellborn does an amazing job to kick on that wave, and Georgia's missed it.
Lizzie Wellborn kicks past Georgia Miller and leaves her for dead.
It's like, oh, why did I even bother trying to gap anyone when that happens?
She didn't give up for 1 second. That run transition from Georgia was incredible. All of a sudden, she's pretty much back on Lizzie Wellborn's tail wash already.
We just both wanted it so badly, and she'd actually won the year prior at Alexandra Headlands, so she wanted to go back to back.
As we look now, Georgia has just actually come alongside Lizzie. As we see there, they've actually crashed into each other, so we might be looking at a sprint finish.
But I wanted to be number one in my first race back.
Lizzie Wellborn starts to lift. She starts to try and pick this run up as she works hard over the top of that one.
The scary part for her rivals is she's not slowing down, and she won't slow down until she decides it's over. So Georgia Miller's, it's all been said. She's a freak, she's a talent. She's just the next queen of this thing, and she's going to keep on keeping on for as long as she feels like it.
It looks like it's going to be Georgia Miller. Too big, too strong. Here she goes. She will be your Shaw and Partners Hayden County Classic champion. 10,000 points in the bank and a big smile to go alongside it.
To me, it just signifies Georgia Miller's back. She's better than ever, and it might be the most meaningful win of her career, not because it was the biggest event or it was the most money or anything like that, but she came from the hardest place or the darkest place and managed to find a way to get it done when the chips were down. And that's what champions do, and Georgia Miller is a champion. Manly Beach, Sydney, Australia, it's as good as it gets. And you add the summer of surf on top of that, and it's an absolute mix that surf sports could not be any better at any better place.